Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WGLEU, the last official, regular, normal, standard match night of the season, and it is our last game, of course, and what a one we have to cap it off. Oliver Maxfield joining me as always. It's going to be Utopia versus DiNG, two teams that, I tell you what, have given us some firecracker games in the past.
Yeah, I mean, two amazing teams. I think Utopia has been one of the most interesting teams to watch throughout the whole season. Absolutely. Of course, they had that fantastic clutch against Synergy. A fantastic round. Definitely check out Utopia versus Synergy. It was the last round of Mines on a tiebreaker. Fantastic stuff from them. But yeah, I mean, technically this could be a close game. I think DiNG, they've looked very good this season. Anyone can argue that. I'd say as a team, they're probably the most favoured to go towards those pre-playoffs and actually win through the top bracket, the winners bracket. Maybe with Kazakru in close second. Of course, you know, DiNG won against Kazakru. Yeah, I think so. Already won against Kazakru. So I'll check against that one. But I believe, you know, this is going to be a good game. Utopia's been getting better. I think if they win this one, they go into 7th place. They knock Synergy down to 8th place, which means they get out of that auto disqualification zone. So it's actually an important round for Utopia. If they want to avoid playing those relegations from the 22nd to 25th, they want to be winning this match. Absolutely.
And it's well within their potential, I think, to do it. Like you said, they'd love that safe zone. They'd love to be sitting there, the same spot that DiNG, ironically, actually held last season. That's where they sat at the end, and they managed to, I guess, consolidate in the break of the season. They stayed in the Gold League, and they came out, and they've given us some fantastic performances here. And for them here, of course, a win here jets them up to equal second. Well, technically third still if you count back. So that's damn good from a team in their second season so far in the WGL. I mean, hard to call. Will we throw back, of course, the last time we saw this one as well? It was close. We saw big stuff from both teams. I think Papa Pavian as well was, as usual, a key player here. I'm excited. We are going to see Ghost Town eventually during the map rotation. So we've got all the elements here, at least on paper, of a fantastic game. The only question is that how the teams are going to play it, of course? And it'll be an interesting night then so far, of course, with the results we've already had. If you're just tuning in, some people were asking in the chat, Wombats on Tanks did beat Kazakru in the tiebreaker match, 5-4, and then 5-1 to Tornado Rocks over Strong Siema before the break. That's where we're now at. And Melly, the votes are coming in. I want to see where people are at because both these teams are following. Both these teams have shown some great stuff to our fans as well, and they should have plenty in the audience.
Absolutely. I mean, Utopia is somehow a community. Somehow is maybe said wrong, but they are a community darling. That's why the voting results surprised me that much, to be honest. It's 81% DiNG. So people, if you haven't voted yet, or maybe the Utopia fans are a little late to the party, head over to facebook.com/WGLEU and get in your votes. The votes will close after the first round, of course, and then you will have no chance in this season to get one of the 3 bonus codes we're giving away each match. So predict the exact scoreline, send it off, hope for the best, and of course choose your favorite team logo. And yeah, you might win a bonus code as said, containing a premium tank, gold, premium days, and a garage slot.
So it's all there for the taking as well. All you have to do is, well, put your brain to good use, I guess, and see if you can predict this one, which, honestly, I don't envy you guys. Your work is cut out for you for this one. Super hard to really gauge how these teams are going to go against each other. We've seen great stuff from DiNG. We've seen some average stuff from DiNG, and the whole reason that Utopia currently sits in 9th is because of much the same, actually. It's been a tough season for them, and in fact, you look at the team and you look at how they played, some would say they maybe deserve to be a little bit higher up here, and they have a chance to do it, of course, Oliver. I think they deserve to stave off that auto relegation, or at least keep themselves out of there. Otherwise, it'll be Synergy, who's sitting in 7th place, but hey, I'm not really one to judge there between those teams. All these teams, I think, from Synergy, Penta, Utopia, those three especially, very, very close together, not only in points, but also in what we've seen from them here. So I hope we get to see more of them in the coming season. That would be excellent. We're going to be starting with Mines today as well. It's the first map of this best of 9. And as I said, capping off with Ghost Town at the end. So I hope it goes there because I'm pretty sure it was on that map that these two guys gave us some awesome games. But we're going to have to wait for now. We are jumping into game though. So at least we're going to see what these two teams are going to be bringing. Again, 113s starting to grow on me, Ollie. More so when they're used together, I feel like. We're able to iron out their
weaknesses. We should sit you in front of a computer and get you to play that 113 a little bit.
Oh, a little bit more perhaps?
Yeah, a little bit more.
Okay, you can check my service record if you like because I am playing it a bit, but no worries.
Yeah, just sit you down there. But it's been, I don't think you played it since 9.13, right? Because that's when it was buffed. Like before then, it was just kind of like this weird mucus of a tank, just not particularly great. Didn't really solidify. So I mean, it's gotten a lot better soon. And I think the interesting thing about this match in general is just, Utopia will test DiNG. DiNG's got to play against Kazakhstan on the weekend, so we can kind of draw that in comparison since we didn't see KB or Oops today. So we'll have to see. How well is DiNG playing? How well are they going to play in this match? They don't have anything to lose, nothing to gain. Which is basically the same thing.
Yeah, that's right. It's a nice way to put it. Look at it from two perspectives here. At least we're giving people an option. I don't mind that at all.
Glass half empty, half
that's it.
Full, whatever.
Bishu moves up here as well. Just have some shots. Both these teams really going with a bit of a standard start here. Double T10, I guess I should point out for Utopia. I mean, Ollie, what's your thoughts on double T10 versus double Conqueror on this, or on any map, really?
Well, T10's a lot more compact to the floor. Conqueror in general is just a DPM beast. It's definitely a lot stronger. But in general, I prefer the Conqueror. I think the Tier 10's faster, more agile, but the Conqueror is just a beast in terms of the damage it can do.
Yeah. Whoa, this is good, actually. You can see that Forbidden doing a good amount of damage towards Shocky. She did go down in the 1v2, but managed to give a good account of himself, and now the push comes forward. Meritorious just got absolutely blasted by those shots, and even Shukyu on the hill was in a position to harass. He knows that Meritorious has to stay close to the corner, so Meritorious either, well, he dies now, but he either hides himself from the main tanks or hides himself from the bat chat. There's no both ways about it. So Utopia holding on here, good little push forward. It's just the health points that's really a concern, but there's shots coming in from behind. It's a good little flank from the 54 lightweight. Rakar did take his chances at the right time, and he's forced Bishu to actually completely turn his tank around and look at him. That's another gun that's not facing towards the bulk of DiNG's lineup. DiNG have so much map control right now, Oliver. Let's see what they can do with it.
Yeah, but I think Utopia, if they just pushed fully forwards, actually just got around the corner and engaged right onto Meritorious, they'd have a massive advantage at this point in time. But they were really slow to the uptake. Kind of half pushed forwards, a little bit of pussyfooting, and that's definitely given DiNG, a foot in this game, which they need to win it. I'd still say it's pretty close. Shokic is actually coming from behind. He's got to be staved off by Shuku.
International does get double tapped there. Both 113s choosing to poke out and have a crack at him in sequence. So it's a 4v3. International hoping to catch Shuku as he backed up down the hill, but his gun just went skywards as, of course, he went down the slope. Shockish though, great flanking opportunity. He can get two shots out and get behind the rock quickly. Oh, nice work from the man. He's able to survive that shot, and Bishu is going to fall down. You make your own luck, Ollie. I'll use your quote there as well, and it's a good little push there indeed from that TVP. Now Shoki's just going to try and escape from Shukyu. Not really going to happen. Shukyu just points his gun lazily in his direction and dispatches him. But Diplomat has to be careful. He's pushing out, but Shukyu can see him. Diplomat doesn't even get the finish on Mooker, and I think that's a mistake. 992 to 882. Super close stuff, but there it is. It is International to fall down. The difference is that Utopia had their tanks together, and now Hulkling has to go forward on a rescue mission for his team.
The highest damage dealer for DiNG, and basically the highest damage dealer in the whole season. He's got about 30 seconds to dispatch off Mooker before he's got to worry about that bat chat as it is on reload. So, I mean, he's a two-shot Shukyu, and Hulknik is a three-shot for Shuku. So, I mean, technically Shuku should be able to win this one in a one-on-one exchange, but that 2.9 seconds time between shots just about gives him that. So if Hulknik plays around a little bit, maybe makes him dance, he can get the shot off here. So it's actually going to be a pretty interesting one versus one.
This is sick. I mean, we talked about Utopia and DiNG being two very even teams, and straight away we get the 1v1. We get a sick little clutch situation here. Hulknik probably wishes he had a little bit more health going forward, but he's going to have to deal with it. He's going to have to take... He hopes to get one shot from a distance and then back away. He'd be loving life then. He wins pretty much straight up. That's what is required. Chucky knows that as well. And I'd say Hulknik has the advantage then as well. If he can keep the distance between him and Shukyu and get a cheeky little shot. But again, Shukyu's trying to cater the situation so that Hulknik has to come to him head on. And that's obviously where the Batchat is going to be shining here as an autoloader.
Exactly. The Batchat is the clutch tank, right? I mean, in a 1v1 situation, maybe not the best. I mean, TVP I definitely prefer to have here, but I think this one should be okay. I mean, Shuku's got the higher ground, right? That's the problem for Hulknik. Shuku doesn't have to move. He's got control of this map, but he has been spotted. So obviously he's moving around, not being particularly subtle about his movements, and that could have cost him that one. And Hulknik just playing pretty no respect, just heading up towards the middle. He's going to be trying to go hull down against his Batchat.
The bounce is possible.
I
wouldn't say probable at sort of close range if Shukyu is aiming properly. If he right clicks, well then it's his own fault. But I expect Shukyu to play this one properly. Hulknik, though, remember, gun depression is important as well. So Hulknik gets the first shot. But no, he's the hit in from Shukyu here. It's a 1v1. It was just a one-shot between the two of them. And an Amarak to finish it off, although that didn't mean too much there. It was always going to come down to a little bit of a luck situation for Hulknik.
Yeah.
He got the first shot, but there was always going to be 2 more to come. He wasn't able to back away quite quick enough. I mean, that's a super hard situation to navigate, though, for Hulknik. I mean, he's just not an autoloader. It's like, I'm at a disadvantage purely based on the tank I'm playing, which happens a lot in this game. And yes, you have to play around it, but yeah, it's pretty hard.
The only way you can win that one is he tracks the back shot, which wasn't possible because there's a slight hill there. He couldn't hit the tracks.
Yep.
So he would have had to bait the shot, wait for the back shot to come for him, and then find the second one shot onto the tracks of the back shot, with the turret on its rear, can't shoot, all that kind of situation. But really impressive first round from DiNG. I mean, from Utopia, I thought they actually would have been able to win that one a little bit more concisely, considering they pushed forwards against some TVPs that had already shot against another tank that pushed around.
The main force.
Yeah, I think Decker, I'm not sure who was Forbidden or Decker was around the corner. So they could have just pushed it and take care of them. But they played a little bit more slowly. Some careless play from DiNG for sure. But they got it done. Very fair enough to them. Shukyu played it, perfectly in the end with the back shot. Muka doing a lot of damage there as a team captain. Yeah, nice solid first round for DiNG, for Utopia.
I've got to give it to Makar as well. He had a good little flank, actually, that paid off quite nicely. He did actually, I think, force Bishu to turn around and look at him pretty much and deal with him at the time. So, great idea. The timing maybe not really benefiting him in a great amount. He was eventually pushed off the back of the cliff. You saw him suicide there. He just tried to escape, but he took damage obviously from the fall, and that happens when you're only quite low there. So fair enough. Fair enough. Good start, though. I'd say this goes to at least a 5-3. I don't know who's going to win.
Yeah, 5-3 I think is realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, if Utopia win, I have to say, if they win, I think we're going to see them back next season with a vengeance. I don't think we're going to be seeing the bottom 4 again, which it is currently as the Polish teams. Yep. I mean, you got out of range, Rusty Roster and Strong CM, or guaranteed bottom 3. Yep. But if Utopia wins, of course, they put themselves in the 7th. 6 goes Synergy. And I mean, really, I expect a big play. I expect a big season from Utopia. They've looked good. Some seriously inconsistent and bad results at the beginning of the season definitely didn't help them out. But in the second half, I've been impressed. And I feel like they're on the edge of really having a solid roster, solid tactics. They just need that consistency.
Sorry, they look good. They really do. In game, they look good. Unfortunately, though, and they've all been a lot of close matches. Their round difference actually isn't that bad. It's actually +2, and the team ahead of them, Penta, is -3, and then Synergy ahead of them is -4. Yeah. So Utopia actually have a positive round difference here in games that they're winning, and they're 5-5. So that says a lot about this team. Then, on paper, they're down where they are on the ladder for a reason, but man, they don't make it easy for teams, and that's frustrating. It's frustrating for Utopia, who've come so close so many times, but they're off to a good start here. You can't fault them on that last round. We're actually going to be seeing an E100 for Meritorious here on DiNG. I don't mind Mary in the E100. He often goes for that one there as well, but sometimes he just has some very bizarre plays as well. He's a veteran of the scene, but sometimes it almost works against him. He thinks he can get away with some things that he just can't, and this is not good. Shukyu has a bit of a time here to have fire at Shokish, and he's just going to let go of the guy. Shokish is stuck here as well. Not much support. He gets a shot on towards Shukyu. I think that was an auto fire extinguisher required there, as we see the numbers tick up. So he's able to cripple the 113 in a pretty big way. I think Shokish might get a second shot. He does, but he falls.
But International and Ruleslick actually going across, but the information's there. Utopia knows that they're coming, so they got Papa Pavi in the background. International might be able to find Diabol, though.
Papa Pavi is on reload, so is Diabol, so is Shukyu. Great opportunity here, but at least Wicked is there to stave International back. If Wicked wasn't there, International would have 2 kills. He would have smashed those two, the Batchat and the TVP. Maybe not quite had enough damage to kill them, but excuse me, even still, very, very, very strong. Good positioning there from Wicked, and that was why he's managed to keep Utopia in this one so far. And it is pretty darn even. I mean, obviously with that Shokish going down on IS4, that's a big loss to suffer. 113, sorry. A big loss to suffer this early in the round. And Old Mate Diplomat is in the artillery. He's pushed a little bit forward here than a lot of M40, M43s play for in that position, but he wants to shoot that island and see if he can connect some shots. He does, Papa! Oh, he's on the other end of the stick this time, Old Mate Papa, and he can't be happy about that one. International does put the last nail in the coffin, and there's Ruleslick to trade back in as Shukyu goes down. That works out quite nicely for DiNG here. 5-4, it's still a tight one. Ruleslick now has to deal with Wicked on the TVP, and this guy's not missing a shot. Even Diabol is there as well. Okay, that's disgusting. That is disgusting. Double TVP. That's why they're so good in packs. That's why people play them, because they just decimate. Now McMoney, going to go hunting for Diplomat. Diplomat may not be off reload by the time he's detected here. And you can see Matt Money even copying some shots from the hill, but he's broken through. This is the situation you love to be in as any light tank. Diplomat, though,
that was close.
his gun's in the wrong... Oh, no, he's in the right direction.
Oh,
he's
nice.
tracking.
Oh, correct.
Don't mess with the Diplomat, man, bro. Comes straight around the corner and takes matters into his own hands. And that's actually a pretty massive blow for Utopia. They need a McMoney alive and they need a Diplomat dead. And with that little 1v1 turning on its head now, it's a health point advantage to DiNG. It's a 4v4, but Hulknik's still pretty healthy. Meritorious in the E100 as well. It's going to be very hard to shift. I favour DiNG here.
Yeah, I mean, Hulknik's got to be careful, though. And actually, Bishu doesn't land that shell. And yeah, I mean, if the artillery went down, of course, it would have been a different game. But right now, DiNG can just hold fast. They still got Meri, as you said, healthy. Murkar there is also in support. Of course, you know, Utopia, they have the numbers advantage, the positional advantage, sorry. In terms of having the hill with double 113s, they got the left side as well. DiNG really can't move. So that's what's going for them. If I was DiNG, oh, Mucka's actually getting caught out. Some big damage goes to him. 2 shells. Hulknik has got to get back into cover, but he's still on 100% HP. Cap's now on the way, though, by the TVP. Wicked in there. So that's going to force DiNG to go forwards. They'll have to go and hold down. And the thing is, you know, Diabol's got the position, which basically stops Hulknik from resetting.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Diplomat's there, though, as well. I don't think he can really blind shoot this cap with where that TVP is sat. So, yeah, one way or another, there has to be some sort of push here. And it looks like, well, they've still got Meritorious, who's pretty healthy. So, you know, he can soak some damage. He can definitely be a bit of a bastion of strength here. So I still feel good about that. I mean, if you had to ask me. But Diabol is in a position here that if Meritorious goes across to try and reset, he can cripple him. He can't kill him. He can do a lot of damage. But I think this is decent from Hulknik. He's going to go forward. He's lit already, and that's early warning for Diabol. So he'll get the first shot and can at least put 1 in him. Probably won't get to do 2 with how low he is. Hulknik, we can generally rely on him to make the damage count. Cap's still going though as well, and DiNG just inching forward. They've got to be careful about this one here. The artillery shot isn't going to find its mark. Of course, is Diplomat trying to do what he can there. He's maybe even better off looking towards the middle of the map here, where Mook is quite low, and Bishu's also up there. Hulknik though gets tracked. He's lucky he didn't take damage there, because actually Diabol could 1v1 him. Good little peek there from the man. Oh, that's beautiful stuff. Hulknik down to a 1 shot, and that's going to make life so much harder for DiNG, sorry, to get resets here. Diabol, perfect play, perfect timing, landed both the shots. Can't complain about that, but this is Meritorious now. He's looking bad, he's looking mean, and he's looking real healthy, looking for Wicked right now. He should have the pickup pretty easily here. A couple TVP shots will go into him, and he's taking some decent damage here. But again, he's taking his time. He knows he just needed the reset. In fact, Wicked will just back off the cap.
And Bishu's not really doing a great job there in the back with the 113. Just hit the shell against Murkar, but of course that FE215B, the much better reload, is going to find the next one. But Hulknik's going to try and support his teammate, although he knows Murkar goes down, but a low roll from Bishu.
Oh, Meritorious, he's going to have to find Diabol here. He might actually go down to Diabol in the corner. He does. He gets taken down. Bishu's still standing. No, Murkar picks him up. It's a 3v2. DiNG still have the numbers here, but not necessarily the health. Now there's some time for the TVPs to get their reload on. Oh, my lord. Murkar and Hulknik are both 1-shots. And so is Diplomat, by the way. This is sick. This is actually sick, especially after the last game, which maybe wasn't so close. Both these teams are giving us an absolute treat. Diplomat has to come forward and even maybe, you know, live the direct fire dream of some artillery players and take the match out in that way. Hulknik is pinned. He has to be very, very careful because he can be watched by both sides. And I think Diabol going to back away towards the middle of the map. The FE215B of Murkar is so low, so low. He really can't afford to get himself into too much trouble here. If he bounces a shot, then I think DiNG win. But Wicked now as well, just getting a good angle here. I like this, but he needs to be able to spot. Yeah,
Diplomat, though, he's getting himself into a great angle because he can shoot Diabol where he is currently. So there might be a blind shot coming out any time now from Diplomat. Yeah, I mean, 3 minutes and 45 seconds is plenty of time to play around with. Diabol finds it, but does Diplomat have the reload?
Diplomat, the shot comes in and he does land onto towards Diabol. Now a 1v2. It's still doable for Wicked, well and truly. But Wicked now doesn't have his teammate there. Diplomat gets it done when he has to. And that is what's going to keep DiNG in this one now. Both teams have 200 health. It's just nothing. You blow on them and they're going to go down. Murkar should be spotted by Wicked technically first. Wicked should be able to make the shot here. But Murkar, it really depends where he's got his turret turned there. He's been spotted now. Both have been spotted. Who's going to get the shot? And it's Wicked. That is massive. Absolutely massive. And now it's a 1v1. It's Diplomat versus Wicked. And of course, Wicked has 3 shells to go. Diplomat has no choice but to go forward. Maybe if he can catch Wicked by surprise, he might actually be able to win this one. But it's going to be dead close. Wicked should be able to catch the side of Diplomat now. He should be able to see him. Diplomat can't reliably direct fire from here, but he's got some cover.
Doesn't matter about reliably, man. Just live the artillery dream. Just live it.
He spotted him. He spotted on the cap. Diplomat can see Wicked, and Wicked can't see him. But Wicked's going to move. He knows he has to move, and he knows approximately where Diplomat's going to be. It's interesting here that Wicked fancies going for the cap and not actually...
Yeah, he should have shot. He should have shot. Like, that's his best. That was Diplomat's best chance there, because, I mean, now he's got a flank. Now Diplomat's got a flank somewhere. He's got to go all the way down the K line and head around towards the cap number 2 and then come up from the hill or something like that, because where Diplomat is, or maybe Wicked's actually going to go for the blind shots, trying to... Oh, this is risky stuff from Wicked right now. He can splash, yes, he can splash.
And if he splashes on the Wicked, that should be enough to take him out.
I don't know why Wicked is doing this.
If Wicked just sits here, this could be curtains. Diplomat has to have a crack at some point. In fact, the sooner he fires, the sooner he'll have reload to have a second shot. Oh no! Not quite enough splash. Wicked, 4 points of health left. He doesn't get any closer than this, and he finishes off Diplomat. Incredible stuff here in Utopia. Take the second round. I cannot believe it. Yet again, these two teams give us these highlight moments. I've never seen that before. RNG on the splash, just not enough for DiNG there.
I thought he actually played it really cleverly, because Wicked was sitting behind the rock. He was waiting until he goes unspotted, and then he moves out. Diplomat was obviously spending 15 seconds just to aim down, and then Wicked knows he'll get splashed, so he moves out of that situation. So he could kind of think, okay, so the splash is going to hit here. I'm going to be nowhere near. Diplomat just about gets the timing wrong, literally millimeters away from hitting that 4 HP shell. And that was so close to being Diplomat's game. He was such a beast. And it all came down to McMoney failing miserably against the M40, not loading, not managing to take him down. Simple as that. Exact is what I say.
Yeah, there's some laughing happening here, I think, in the chat. I mean, yeah, Shooky, yeah, luck, question mark. It doesn't matter to Utopia. They still get the round somehow. I literally had lost my mind, and that was... I can't swear on air either, so that's not going to work. Wicked with 4.2k damage.
Doesn't stop me, mate.
Yeah, clearly. Incredible game from him, of course. Topping those damage charts nicely. Oh, these TVPs are so clutch, Ollie, as well. That was an incredibly close round. Again, you could literally put a tissue over these two teams. They are just that close. Incredible round. Really, I'm lost for words, and that's rare for me.
I think we should just play every round Mines. Let's just get rid of all the other maps, maybe apart from Cliff. Let's just play Mines, because it's just the best games. Like, it's just the best games. So for so many great games on this one, but we can see, I mean, like, that last shot by Diplomat was so close. And you can see artillery has such a big effect on such a small map. Like, even when you're down, when you're in a position where technically artillery should always lose, you can still come that close to winning. So, and incredible stuff.
Don't forget that Diplomat also, remember, he went and fought McMoney as well in that game. He just ran at him and got the direct fire kill on the RU251. I think my mic's broken. I don't know. So I had to move it close to my mouth again. Holy
double 5
crap.
to get those repair kit done. Yeah, I mean, McMoney kind of screwed that one up, because he should be playing around the corner as close to the corner as possible. You get the shot and then you can reverse like straight back, but he didn't do that too well. But yeah, what hell of a game. I mean, playing from that left side, it felt to me like a war of like aggression from both teams. Like, Utopia was trying to make its way from left to right the whole time, playing in the cap, forcing a move from DiNG. You know, they had to force a move. Haltlink had to go forward to try and get the kill against Diabol. Of course, Diplomat had already moved by that time. They knew where the other TVP was, because the cap was underway, and then the cap wasn't there anymore, so they knew it had to be in another position, or one which couldn't help at least. Diplomat gets the shell just about against Diabol, and then you know, it's just a bit of a 1 versus 1 situation, or with artillery 2 versus 1. And I actually thought that last second when Wicked against the FE215B, I thought the FE215B would have been there to make the shot against Wicked, because the Diplomat could have helped the FE215B if the TVP had come from the hill. Like, that's a clear line shot. You can help you there. He couldn't have helped you with where Wicked was, which is the other angle he could have come from. So for me, it didn't make any sense. Like, why was the FE215B aiming that direction when artillery could aim that direction? You know.
So they're both covering the same spot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, but I mean, obviously in such a high pressure situation, this kind of thing. Also, we didn't exactly see if that FE215B was aiming, where he was aiming, what was happening. So yeah.
Oh my God, Oliver! I don't know if my heart can take
2-0
this.
Utopia, boys.
Yeah, who would have thought after that first map? I mean, now we move on to Moravanka or Moravanka, I think if you say it correctly, Moravanka, yeah. You're a bit of a wonker, mate, aren't you?
Willy Wonka, mate.
3 bad chats for Utopia, 3 TVPs. Why not put faith in those right now? I have to say, incredible. T110E5, 2 of them, 2 leopards. 2 leopards, all right. 2 bad chats for DiNG here on an STB1 to round it out here. We have a restart. We also had problems in the lobby as well, so people still, I think DiNG tilting so hard that their mouse and keyboard has fallen off their desk. It just like slid off, and they don't even know what's going on there anymore. So, yeah, Moravanka to be kicking off with actually the second time we've seen it tonight, which is kind of surprising, really. But, I mean, I'd like to call in examples of what we saw between Rox and Strong Siema, but one round was solid hold by Rox. The other round was a bit of a weird push by them, and Strong Siema capitalised and made the correct shots. I mean, we know that Utopia does like this one. They do favour this one. We've seen them play it before against Penta, notably as well. They know what they're doing. Predictions?
I don't know. I think Utopia has a decent record on this one. I think they can beat DiNG. I mean, they're 2-0 ahead. Utopia's been known for mine, so perhaps definitely one of their stronger maps. But I mean, I think this one could easily be Utopia's. I mean, they look like they're playing the better tanks. Their tactics are solid. They're coming back from deficits. They're playing well. They're making the right decisions, and that's what Moravanka's all about. I mean, realistically, 1-1. I think if we're going to call it, both on the defensive side is what's going to happen on Moravanka. Okay. You know, it depends. It looks to me like Utopia really wants to win this match. It doesn't look to me like they want to spend their week after the 20th playing the relegation games, playing like 2 days in a row, playing those pre-relegations, playing the relegations. You know, they want to avoid all that, and all they have to do is beat DiNG. And you know, if they do beat DiNG, we have 2 indications: is DiNG getting better, or are they getting weaker, or is Utopia getting to a place where they can actually start to contend?
I think Utopia know DiNG pretty well. I'm pretty sure they're practice partners, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that.
But you make it sound so easy. They just have to beat DiNG. You know,
I know.
There's a big obviously target. There's a big challenge in front of them here. But I think if anyone's up to it in that part of the ladder, I think below 6th place, I'd have to put it to Utopia. I think they've got what it takes. I think it sucks that they were ended up being in the position that they were. So basically, Forbidden has disconnected. So we have to wait for him to come back in, which is just great. But I mean, this is probably not a bad time to maybe see where people have been voting and stuff for that. It'll be interesting to see now. Obviously, fairly early on, we would have seen some changes, of course. But we're going to bring Melly in early this time just for you guys. I know this is why you watch the show. So, Melly, tell us about...
She's got some nice purple hair now.
Yes, I do. But
Really?
it's better visible in sunlight.
Yeah,
somehow.
I can't really tell.
Not the
Oh,
glaring lights of studio. Yeah, you can kind of see it.
I can sort of see it. Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, Melly, let's hear
Vote, right?
it. Yeah.
Let's
It's
go
from all
to
those
vote.
whatever fruits you eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Light cheese.
Light cheese.
Light cheese. Ollie says
I
that
like
it's better
light cheese,
to
but not
eat,
light cheese.
to eat sugary snacks than fruit because eating
Never
fruit
said that.
doesn't
I said
make-
I wouldn't
doesn't
eat any
make
fruit.
sense. Eating
We got
fruit
some nice.
doesn't
We
make
got some nice
sense.
bro science in the break from Oliver Max Stewart here. as we do.
Exactly.
Don't eat fruit because insulin levels go up and you get fat. So, right.
Big
I hope
moment.
you
But
guys.
better eat chocolate instead because then you have at least
don't like
something.
Chocolate milk. Sorry, get that
Chocolate
right.
milk.
Chocolate
Like
milk.
3
Chocolate.
liters of it per day.
I didn't say I was a health expert or if I'm trying to be healthy. I'm just.
You said it with
saying.
so much conviction, like you were absolutely convinced that fruit was
Like,
bad
I don't
for you.
eat fruit. I'm sure people only eat fruit because they think it's healthy, but it's not because it's sugary. So eat a snack.
Cool
instead.
story, bro. You just said that. I didn't say it. No one heard me say it. You just said it.
You did say it.
So
I can,
I
I
would
can,
never say
I
that.
can confirm that
I
Oliver
love
said that.
fruit.
Next.
Anyway,
I love fruit. 68% for DiNG at this point.
Okay, so still that.
Yeah, let's see how it develops after them seeing the second round. Because as said, you guys are 8 minutes ahead. No, behind. We're ahead.
There's-
We're in the
there's a delay.
future. Hi.
On that note, and this is a question I want to ask Ollie, because Ollie's a big fan of this tank. Why am I not seeing the Centurion AX being used here at T10? That's what the Oak staff actually asked us on Twitter. Is it not competitive compared to the Object 140 and E50M, in your opinion?
Well, the problem is the Centurion Action X and all these tier 10 mediums, you know, the AMX30, Centurion Action X, not so much the STB, but they're all like the same tank as the Leopard, but slightly worse than the Leopard.
Okay.
You know, like, well, at one point, Wargaming was releasing tanks and basing them on like of certain characteristics. Germans were good snipers, Russians were assault cannons,
Yep.
you know, that kind of thing. But it's all kind of a little homogenous these days. So the Centurion Action X, bit slower than a Leopard, slightly worse gun handling than a Leopard.
Right.
So why don't you just bring a Leopard? Yeah,
Sure.
okay, it's got slightly better armor, but when you're talking about high penetration shells, you know, that little bit more armor is not going to really make that much of a difference in, let's say, 199 let's say 99 out of 100 shells, 99% of the time. So just bring the Leopard, and that's why we do see the Leopard being picked up.
Especially not in esports as well, because by default you're at least firing AP, if not heat.
APCR or heat, 100%.
APCR, yeah. So. Yeah, fair enough, I guess. But maybe in your...
it's good for random battles. Like, we're not...
maybe in random battles.
I mean, it's a great tank. Obviously, we got the FE202 missions coming up in like 4 days time, where you can only get it with the Centurion Action X. So, still a great tank. One of my favorites in the garage. But, yeah, I mean, the Leopard just does it all better, basically.
Fair enough. So, there's your answer. Thank you, though, for tweeting to us, the Oak staff. And hopefully that sums it up nicely for you. We're back in game. No change to lineups, by the way, guys. So that's obviously much the same thing. Forbidden is back. So that's nice. So have him reconnect. We're jumping into Moravanka here, our second map of the night. Utopia already find themselves in the enviable position of being 2 rounds up.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I mean, I didn't expect it to be like this one-sided towards Utopia. I mean, okay, it's only one map, and like we see a lot of 2-0s with, a team that likes the map. But I mean, realistically, as I said, it's going to be 3-1 after Moravanka. I think that's very fair to say, based on Utopia's performances and DiNG's performance on this map. So, I mean, you can see a Leopard's being picked up by this team. We got an artillery, as you said, by Papapavian. He's been a little bit quiet these last 2 rounds. See if he can step up for his team. See if he can actually outperform Diplomat. You can see how fast that Lorraine 15551 is. It's an absolute speed machine as it makes its way over towards the right side. Same tactics we've seen from Tornado Rocks at the beginning. Of course, it didn't work, but we do see a tank, a Batchat in C1, and also some middle presence from Utopia.
Papapavian getting along at 60 kilometers an hour there. That's pretty darn fast. Here's the Lorraine chassis, of course, that you see at Tier 9, medium as well. Looks similar to the 50-100 one as well. Is it the same hull as the same chassis 50-100? Yeah, there you go. So we see Forbidden there, just set up back in the corner. This is like a random battle spot, actually, what he's using there as well. We see it fairly often as well in esports. It's a decent spot for a Batchat, a lot of safety. You can sort of get back behind. The hull down, the angle actually is pretty decent as well. So there's a bit of safety, and you can also fire from there, which is super good. Mooker's coming up. He's already been spotted here, presumably by Mrakar. And he knows that because his light bulb went off. After a few seconds, you do get that indicator.
3 seconds, yeah, exactly.
Yep. So he's just playing it safe now as well.
I'd love to see the game without that 3 seconds delay.
Yeah, like immediately spotted?
I don't know, like, that would be interesting. I think they probably tested it. But if they removed that, it would be so much easier.
I think people play more passive, though.
Yeah, they would play more passively, but maybe even increase up to like 6 seconds. So
yeah, there you go.
That's how the game used to be played, the hard times.
Yeah, without light bulb. The dream. Which is most of my tanks, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're grinding up crew and you don't have a light bulb, you have to play the game so differently.
Yeah, it literally changes the way you approach things or where you go, which I think is good though as well. Shuki track there, he's gonna have to keep moving. But look at this, look at the shots that these people have on him. Oh, one more shot into the tracks would have been enough to pretty much do him in there. So I have to say, Shuki's pretty fortunate to get so far back, and now a bit of control over this capture point number 2. I'd say DiNG aren't all that well set up to defend this one, and they have no spots as well. International's going to have to go hunting himself, and in the meantime, Utopia get in position with those TVPs. We'll see how they want to bring those guns to bear, as the Lorraine of Papapavian is also moving into position. So the longer that DiNG want to sit up on the hill and try and hull down or just get sniper shots, Papa is going to have more opportunities if they are lit. But these blind shots, I heard a bounce there from one of those blind shots there, but they're not really connecting, so Mrakar has to go in. Shukyu is the bait. Shukyu's not really giving any information, but Mrakar also hasn't been spotted in getting here. So he should be able to get an easy enough spot here towards the cap. Or not. Wicked, not spotted, but Mrakar, there we go. He's seen him now. So shots will come in now. This is where Utopia get beaten and battered a little bit here. In a big way. You can see all their guns were trained on that point. Wicked goes down. Papa moves on towards the cap, interestingly enough here. Maybe just to shield out Mooker, or has to be.
Yeah, he's just going to be shielding Muck 100%. Actually, Papa might be able to get away with this one. No, he doesn't. And he just gets into defensive position. So they expect DiNG to come from that middle village. So he just blocks nicely for him. And, Utopia can potentially cap this. But it's just one tank, so 120 seconds. They really need to do well. But Rulzik gets a little bit caught out by Forbidden.
Forbidden is going to hopefully nail all these shots. There's pretty much no armor on those Leopards. So Rulzik just has to take all those damage and all those shots. Those damage. Brilliant. Shockish, though, does get one on towards Forbidden as well. Going to make that a little bit more costly for him now as he's set up pretty close. But the cap, not really assailable, even though Shokyu actually opting to push off for whatever tank that was on there. It was a bat chat that backs away as well. Maybe Utopia realizing that their initial strat might just not work out here. But they're going into a straight fight here, a tank down and a lot of health points down.
Yeah, they're not doing very well right now, Utopia. Shuku's going to fall as well, and you can see DiNG. You know, once they have control of that middle, it's very hard. But a lot of damage going towards Hulknik, but that was Diabell and Bishu, and both TVPs are now on reload. So Bishu's pretty much a sitting duck at this point. Utopia down 2 tanks, and looks like DiNG are just trying to push in, trying to get this last couple of tanks down. This Diplomat is on reload, he could go down.
Blood is the water, and they do sense weakness, of course, amongst Utopia, who are, well, just that. They are weak. International comes forward. He's soaking damage, if nothing else, as he is on reload, but he's going to chase after the TVP nonetheless. Diabell's just going to get grounded and pounded over there, and it's just Bishu. Rams, I think, was the call of the day for International, but tough to ram someone who's behind you. And they're just going to dance around each other for a little bit here as well. International probably hopes to, have someone else fire at Bishu and take him out there. That's a pretty convincing round win from DiNG there as well. You were interesting to see that Utopia didn't sort of favour pushing towards that 1-2 line, even though they actually had a bat chat there early on here. I mean, I don't know what DiNG's setup. Well, I guess DiNG must have had a decent setup. I mean, double T110 E5 is always a little bit awkward to push into. Is that maybe why Utopia went for that bit of a weird strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I think they wanted to avoid that left side cap, the cap number 1 offshore with the double T110E5, right. And the thing is there, Utopia lost it because they sacrificed too much in the cap, and that cap is very awkward, and it's why you don't see that strategy, because if you get spotted, it's worse than steps. If you get spotted in steps in the cap in the north, you can lose like 1 or 2 tanks.
Okay.
Here, you lose all your tanks. You could see Utopia just wanted to hold on. They knew if they tried to move, they would die probably anyway. So they just held on there, tried to stay alive. They lost the TVP. They lost that Lorraine as well. That's a tier 10. That's a tier 8 out of the battle as well. So 2 tanks for basically nothing. Cap with just 1 tank is too slow, especially considering they lost those vehicles. So that allowed DiNG just get into the Eastern Village and push through. So too much sacrificed for the cap from Utopia. Maybe it would have worked if they could move out of the if they moved out of that cap. I don't know. I mean, I can't time travel. Maybe they should have tried that, but you're second guessing yourself, and you have lost a lot of HP at that point in time. You would have lost your Lorraine. If you had pushed your Lorraine in a little bit earlier, maybe it would have worked. Perhaps that TVP would have been live. Perhaps that bat chat wouldn't have been reset.
So do you think that strategy can work? It kind of does work for Utopia, even though one spot kind of unravels it all for them?
Yeah, I think that's what probably happened. And also the fact that, I think they got spotted a bit too early. I mean, you could see the push in from Murkar was just, the timing was wrong for Utopia. Murkar pushed in when also we had Papa Pavian trying to move into the cap. So it was like 30 seconds earlier, Papa Pavian would have been in a defense position in the cap, and he would have been a wreck to hide behind. But Murkar had already been there. He had already spotted. He died, but he did what he had to do, and that was good timing for DiNG.
So much damage upon his spotting, dude. Seriously. I mean, I can check it here as well quickly.
It's always a mind game. I mean, you can either push in at the last minute and expect it to be a linear kind of thing, or you can push in like with a bit of buffer zone, like Murkar just did, where you maybe expect a bit of a curveball from the other team. Maybe putting like an extra tank in the cap just to speed it up that much more, or having a blocker. All these kind of things have to go through your mind.
At least 2k damage upon his spotting, so definitely worth it. He's traded more than his own health points in for that, and there's a lot more damage as well that's not recorded by the game. That was pretty much off the back of him, so he can't complain about that one. We are going to see Diplomat hit up some artillery now, as we do see a bit of a sign change. They're going to go to the attacking side. A mouse here for Utopia, interestingly enough. Mooka's been one to go for some interesting picks here. In fact, I think he played the mouse on mines once, but I don't know. What are your thoughts here? Where's it going? What's it doing? And why?
We've seen it a few times, two times before. It's been put in F2. Basically, I mean, you can push around the corner, and it's going to be so hard to take down. We've already seen 3 mice on today's matches with Ruinberg from Womats on tanks. You push around the corner, you put it into the cap. The other team's going to spend so much time killing your mouse. It's going to get a couple of shots off. It's going to do a bit of damage. that your other team, you know, your TVPs, your SDBs, your Batchats, they can come in and they can actually do the real damage. So that's the kind of the thought process behind why Utopia have got that vehicle.
Hulknick is taking some blind shots, and they're just whistling over Diable's head here, so he knows something's afoot. And it is Morka, yeah, like you said, just making his way forward. I do recall seeing that one on this map now, and yeah, it's going to be hard to shift when he does get into position. Like you said, Oliver, good gun handling from the mouse as well. You can definitely do some damage back, even if his main intent is maybe to soak up. You can definitely give it back as good as he receives. Diplomat here set up on the 1 line as well, so he can shoot towards those resetting tanks at F1 or G1, as it may be in this case. We'll have to see if they can get spotted first, though. That's the thing. For the moment, most of DiNG's force is actually still over towards the island side, so I have to wonder, you know, when they're going to start to bring the hammer down on the anvil, as it were, because there's just an IS-4 and an STB-1 close by at this stage with the Leopard to do some sniping from a distance.
Yeah, I think with the IS-4, the only realistic option is to push onto this cap. They've got the Leopard there, as you said, on that left side, just to provide good support. You've got Diplomat in the background as well, just to get clear line shots onto the mouse. And at the end of the day, I mean, that position which the mouse has, because of the close proximity of Diplomat and the straight line shot, it's actually not easy to get the resets. It's not easy to shoot Wicked. It's not easy to shoot Mucka. So Diplomat might struggle with that one.
Okay.
And, you know, you have to get the spots. And if they're just sitting behind there, well, I mean, why would they peek? They don't need to peek. They don't need to take damage. They don't need to do damage. The other team needs to come to them. They're on the attack. So you could see that's, of course, International Meritorious to head through that Magic Forest on the right side, which is crossed off a little bit by McMoney in the MX-1390. And you got a Batchat of Shuku in the background as well. So quite a lot of tanks set up here. And also, it's going to be Shockish, the team captain of DiNG, to join those two.
Camo net, coded optics, and binoculars. So Matt Money is full scout mode, or passive scout mode, as they call them. He's not moving anywhere right now. So he'll be able to see if there's anything happen, no doubt about it. One way or another, he will have plenty of early warning to report back to his team about the position of those mediums that do seem to be congregating in towards the forest. So Utopia have, you know, I think you put it pretty well, Oliver. I think they have a lot of their bases covered. They don't really need to peek or try and do damage. It's definitely onus being on DiNG to come forward here. And I think that suits Utopia just fine.
Yeah, they definitely don't have to do anything. And, you know, it's Moravanka, I would say. Probably one of the more defense-biased maps for sure, considering by just sitting in your spawn, you can defend both caps. I mean, it's not like, it would be kind of interesting, like put cap number 2, base number 2, in Magic Forest, and then that would be a little bit more even, but there's like a massive hill which you can shoot both bases, both caps. You know, it's, you know, that's what makes it easier for you. Straight line shots, there's a few bushes, there's a few trees, but you can work your way around that with a little bit of logic. And yeah, I mean, probably the more successful kind of tactics we see on this map are a combination of just speed and aggression to catch the other team out, because it's so normal to play towards that left side. But I mean, at the end of the day, you need to be able to find those shots. You need to get those damage, the initial damage done. It's an information map at the end of the day. I mean, for instance, if you're on the defensive side, you need to have the tank in where the same MX-3090 of McMoney is to be able to spot that right side, otherwise you're going to lose control. If you're in the attack, you need to, for instance, be able to find out, oh, is it an STB and G1? Can we push down there? What tanks are they using? You know, if all these kind of questions that do come into play. So to me, it still looks like DiNG wants to push the left side. They might do the old double push, prong push from the right, with looks like their highest damage tanks in terms of the TVP and the burst, the Batchat with a burst, and the Object 140 for a bit of hold down if they do manage to get to K6. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting, but it's super hard to get the timing right.
So what's Makar hoping to do here, Oliver? I know you just had a big arm, but I'm wondering now why he's pushing up ahead of his team here.
Well, you can go hold down. I mean, he's... Ooh, but McMoney's spotted him nicely. It's a great position McMoney's in. We've already seen this today, I think, between Strong CM and Tornado Rocks, this kind of position. But, I mean, Rakar knows 100% that McMoney is going to be somewhere in one of those bushes. There's a few to choose from. That's the problem. And it's not always easy to blind shot them, considering how small that AMX-1390 is. Bishu receives a little bit damage, and DiNG have got themselves in some good positions. And maybe the fact that... Ooh, DiNG have been... they have been...
Oh Oh my lord. Diplomat nails that shot towards Bishu. I mean, Rulzik was always going to be able to do some fairly safe sniping from that spot. I can see why you want to put the Leopard there, but you know, we can't even forget the fact that Diplomat was waiting in the wings as well to capitalize off the information gain. Like you said, Oliver, one piece of information was one tank down. That's exactly what that equated to. There's no doubt about it. That information is everything. And look at the spots as well. The Batchat, the STB, they've all been lit here for Utopia. And now DiNG want to go in for the kill. They actually want to press in up on the hill. They're going to try and fight out with these tanks. There's a mouse there, of course, for Muka, but I mean, what's the game state now? I mean, Shuki pushing forward. Why? There's so many tanks ready to receive him, and he has just thrown himself straight into the trash bin, I guess, as Rulzik can come over and get one shot.
He wanted to go in to try and take down that Leopard, but that was never going to happen, right? I mean, super careless. Just as Bishu put his side to where the M40 obviously is, Shuku pushes forward with a full HP Batchat and gets killed. Like, this is really careless play from Utopia. They didn't have any information at the beginning. They allowed themselves to get flanked a little bit because they didn't peek enough from with the heavy tanks. The person who does peek is a TVP, and he peeks with his side to a Leopard and an artillery piece. Not good stuff from Bishu at all. I think Shuku tried to be cheeky, but the thing is there wasn't enough pressure from Wicked and Muka. If Muka and Wicked had gone forwards, been super aggressive, caught the attentions of the STBs, the Object 140 and Rakar and the IS-4, fair enough, you have a chance to push across, but it was easy shots for them.
I'll tell you what, Diplomat there landed a hit. That's why I made a very strange sound. I promise I won't do that again. And Papa's playing the steroids position here at the back of the map. So obviously, as much as we call it a red line sniping one, it has its purpose, of course, as you can see tanks that are coming around the corner and you can put pressure on guys like Shockish. So it stands to reason that you have a tank there. But unfortunately, Papa's going to be in the same position. You know, he's going to have that new multi-show feel, I think, in a few moments here, as the rest of his team are going to get cut down. DiNG are just looking so commanding right now, Oliver. And this is Diplomat. Again, International just got McWrecked there. I don't know who that was coming from. Diplomat. Did he hit his shot?
Yeah, he hit it straight onto the back of the engine bay of the STB-1. So, I mean, Diplomat, the man of the moment, hitting all those shots in the M40. Fair enough to him.
Yeah, so sick, man.
Such a terrible round for Utopia.
Well, I mean, the setup looked okay. I mean, when we talked about all of it, you did say, like, you know, Utopia have, like, a lot of their bases covered here as well. But we always talk about the execution. You said at the end of the day, they're going to hit the shots. They're going to be ready for them. But, I mean, let's talk about it. Was it Bishu that really sort of let them down there? Of course, being the first tank to drop, the STB getting wrecked by Diplomat.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing a little bit too slowly with the fact that the other team's got artillery piece. Bishu was just super careless in that position. But it's, I mean, the thing is, Shuku, I mean, giving himself up like that, just pushing straight across with no pressure from his team, like, you can't play like that at the end of the day. I mean, okay, you know, these are about 300 meters, 350 meter shots. Maybe in a random battle, you don't expect someone to hit you with that. But you're talking about Gold Series team. You're talking about DiNG, which has been one of the most contentious teams. They're going to hit those shots every single day of the week, and you're going to die. And the Leopards, you're going to at least go down to low enough HP. The Leopard can peak. It's not a one shot. It'll take you 2 shots to kill it with a bat shot anyway, and it's going to take you down. So, yeah, super careless. I guess he was kind of saying, okay, if Diplomat's left to live, we're going to lose anyway. But, yeah, I mean,
and there it is.
Not a great round.
There's a Rulzik Diplomat combo. Off on that side of the map. The Leopard won the M40, M43. Just made life so darn hard for those defensive Utopia tanks. They just had no response, I felt like. And, you know, the mouse as well, doing 1k damage. Not great. I mean, we saw Bishu got wrecked at the start. Shuki got hammered. He pushed forward and didn't even get any damage down. And when you've got your bottom 4 tanks, I mean, they seem to have about 1,400 damage between all of them. It's just not enough. You see it there.
And Diplomat, if he really wanted to, he could just win. Because the thing is, where DiNG were at the beginning, right up towards the northern side of the map, fair enough, they can't spot where Utopia are. But when they circled around and Rakar got into that hold down position in the IS-4, you know, then he could just go forwards, roll backwards, get the spots, get the 50-meter proxy spots onto the heavier tanks. Diplomat's going to hit those shells, no problem at all. There was no reaction. Like a lot of teams in Utopia's positions would send like a TVP and a Batchat and an Object 140 to try and flank, to try and come from a different direction. You know, do a little bit of damage. Send your mouse and your T110E5 over that hill, and just try and, you know, put some pressure on the other team, because you're just going to get slowly roasted if you sit where you are.
Definitely feel like Diplomat's getting his comeuppance now as well over these over this last map, I guess you could say. That was just an incredible performance from him. You saw it on the screen as well. Almost 3k damage there with that M40, M43. And the guy's, like, he's fired 4 shots. 2 direct hits, 2 splashes.
No, can't argue with that.
Absolutely not. And like every time he was involved in so many kills. I mean, he damaged 3 vehicles over those 4 shots. So it's just really, really good work from him. Can't fault it. And that's what happens when you bring that artillery into a static lineup. How much of a headlining role are artillery taking now, Oliver, in this format? It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, artillery is always a contentious topic in world tanks in general. Everyone's like, yeah, remove them. I'm on the fence. I mean, as I've been an artillery player, but the thing is, when I was playing artillery, it was a whole different ball game. It was more about more of a team effort with artillery. You know, we always had the T50-2s and everything. Like everyone had to work together to make artillery work. Now these days, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the argument that they remove camping. I don't know. Like, it blows my mind, artillery these days. But in
crazy stuff.
In 768, I think it works. I mean, I think in 15 versus 15, it's a different storyline. But in 768, that factor just to make comebacks happen makes artillery so fantastic.
What do you reckon, Melly? Do you reckon the game's been better since we've been seeing artillery feature so strongly?
I mean, it's part of the game, right? And it was kind of weird not seeing it.
Yeah, I remember.
And I actually like it.
We get all the clutch moments a lot of time from artillery, by the way.
Absolutely, and all of those
Diplomat.
blind shots, all those crazy blind shots.
Yep.
So I think it flavors up the game. So they have a right to be there, to say it like diplomatically. Yes, the voting.
Diplomatically, I like that. Nice.
I don't even know if it's a word.
Well, it is, but it's the diplomats and artillery player. He's been the one making all the shots, so it works out perfect. Nice work.
That was
Totally mental.
It's totally intentional, yeah.
That was the way I was trying to go, but wait. 67% for DiNG in this case, and a lot of 5-3, like heavily 5-3 voting. So I don't know if the DiNG voters would have thought it's going to be that hard for DiNG, with Utopia stepping in front 2-0 for everyone that just tuned in. But they're heavily favoring DiNG in this matchup, after all.
2 nillers for both teams.
Yeah.
Steps coming up next, so...
The only way I could say it was closer if they got 1 apiece on each map. Steps is just weird as well.
I thought it'd be 1 apiece on Moravanka, 100%, I thought, but...
I don't know. Utopia looked really lackluster on that map. I mean, Steps
did,
as well. Steps, like Utopia were up there with Synergy in their desire to play this map last season, I remember it. But 4 Object 140s for DiNG, Oliver. Something tells me they want to brawl.
Yeah, they do. They're going for that beginning of the season lineup. We saw a lot from the teams with the 140s. I think, in general, a lot of these players probably play 140s and T68s in random battles, I imagine, more than any other tier 10 medium. If they don't have the 907 or the T22S.
Every time I watch the DiNG players stream, like they're belting out 140s.
Well, T22, that's the best tank in the game right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like DiNG pushing up north, pretty standard stuff at the beginning. I mean, when you're playing the defense, you need to hold down kind of position. Shockish getting spotted, and the Utopia just with a bit of a passive, bit of an active scout from McMoney, and just a little bit of support from their background players.
Well, so far it hasn't really proved to be too risky for the man here. He's come forward, he's got some spots on towards DiNG, and now it's pretty clear to Utopia that DiNG have definitely staking out, in the process of staking out that train line in the north side. So they will inch their way across the valley as well. This is super standard opening from DiNG, I think. I think they just want to have the capacity to go in and fight if Utopia set up like a decent capture sort of scenario. But look at Makar as well. He's also doing a bit of active scouting himself. He's lit up Shuki there. The rest of Utopia going to come around as well. I mean, who wins in this brawl, Ollie?
I think Utopia will win in the brawl because they've got Bashrats and TVPs. I mean, there are a couple of STVs in there. The Object 140 has got good reload. But, I mean, the DPM is just so much better from the STB.
Well, DiNG have opted to take the fight to Utopia here, maybe a little bit oddly. And Utopia have set up on towards the cap. DiNG got here quickly, so Utopia can't, like, sneak a full 100% cap with 3 tanks on there like we've sort of seen before, which was good for Utopia. There's no stress. They don't have to, like, oh, crap. Good for DiNG, sorry. They're not like, oh, crap, we don't have to go and reset now. We don't have to give up a tank. We don't have to sacrifice any health that we don't have to. But look at this. Great positioning from the Batchats and the TVPs here. They're going to get some good damage done. Great little ambush coming out from Utopia, but the damage is going to come in thick and fast, and they make it stick. 2 of DiNG's tanks fall. Wicked Ops to stay up on that little ledge here might be risky. as he is punished.
Totally unnecessary from Wicked to make that pick, especially against Rulesec, who was behind 2 wrecks.
Yeah, what the
and
hell?
He's going to get killed. He's obviously got that, let that clutch go to his head a little bit too much. But yeah, McMoney's even going to be able to from Rakar here, and Utopia are significantly ahead in this game. And International trying to have a little bit of a dance with Mucker and Papa Pavi, and also another tank to the side. But still, DiNG are starting to falter.
Yeah, that's right. They're already fallen behind a lot in those early trades. Bishop and McMoney do manage to take care of 2 more DiNG tanks. And this is getting a little bit, nerve-wracking, I think, for DiNG. In fact, they're already pretty much out of it. Hulknick has to go up against 2. His only teammate, Rulesec, has pretty much a similar situation here. I don't know. Was this a tank pick problem? Was this a lineup issue, Ollie? Or did DiNG really need to take the fight so early? I'm not really sure what went wrong here.
Well, they need to be a lot more tactical to win this one, to be honest, because... yeah, I mean, with Utopia's pure damage lineup, you could see there the 2 TVPs and the Batchat, they took care of 2 Object 140s. Simple as that. They got them absolutely taken off the game. The Object 140s maybe did like 1,000 damage. So yeah, I think in that case, it's a lineup problem. When you're playing with the Object 140s, you need to be hard down. You can't go in a one-on-one exchange. You need to use the advantage. You need to be a little bit more clever. But they allowed Utopia to get that right side straight away because McMoney went aggressive in the RU251 at the beginning, found where DiNG is. Utopia didn't mess around at all. They went straight towards the right. Really good play from them. And the TVP and the Batchat scout and a little bit of a flank at the end of that game worked out very nicely for them. Yeah, I mean, I think... probably, I mean, lineups, I would have had, like, if you had like an IS-4 where those Object 140s are, had the 2 140s that you had left at the back, the IS-4 would have been able to absorb, you would have been able to use those single shot, low damage guns to their best effect. But yeah, that was an absolute annihilation by Utopia.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And this should tell a fair bit of the story here. I mean, DiNG, yeah, Object 140s and STBs going into fight. I mean, look at the Batchat doing the damage. Look at the TVP. Bishi going nuts there. Got 4 clips out, of course, as you maybe would expect. I love the little ambush that they brought out from the Valley as well. They took control of that area really quickly. Decisive play from Utopia. And this is why I think they deserve to be a top 6 team, because they can make these decisions correctly. Problem is, there's 2 types of being decisive, right, Ollie? There's the correct decisive decision, and then there's an incorrect one. And of course, Shuki going forward on Moravanka, that's decisive, but not exactly in the right kind of way. It almost seems a double-edged sword for Utopia. Maybe they need to temper that and find a happy medium. But look at this. 2 Object 140s with 900 damage between the 2 of them. Lipomat didn't do much less than that. I mean, yeah, really average there for the brawl of the core of DiNG.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 Object 140s just at the bottom there. They're also the ones which were furthest forward, so perhaps not too surprising. But yeah, I mean, super convincing attacking round here. The attacking side slightly more biased on steps for sure. One of the only maps, actually, we see the attacking side being better. But now it's going to be Utopia to defend. Also not going for a particularly heavy lineup. DiNG sticking to the Object 140s, just removing one of them. So not much difference between the 2 rounds from both teams.
Well, let's see now how that comes into play, because, of course, the only difference, I guess, then is that one team, or the team defending, is now on the attack. So that changes a lot, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen at home. We'll have to see. It is going to be plenty of STBs mixed in there for Utopia. So, DiNG still, using an Object 140 crutch a fair bit. The double TVP coming in for Utopia. I mean, I wouldn't exactly call this the most durable lineup for Utopia. But again, no one's bringing big, heavy tanks into these games here. Both these teams love playing these mediums, and they play them quite well, it's safe to say, when they put them in the right place. Here's the boost. No artillery here to threaten Utopia as they do boost up. McMoney did take a shot. Maybe a blind shot? Yeah, possibly here. I can't tell if he was lit or not, but he is going to be smarting after that one.
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't see exactly where that one came from. But yeah, I think Utopia was one of the first Polish teams to go full lighter lineups. Like we saw Utopia, for instance, champion the AMX 3090 ×5 lineup on 754 on this map. So yeah, they're a very fast and furious team, and it's definitely worked into their favor as we got through the seasons. And a little bit of blind shots go towards them. Now Utopia can just set up. Same start as Utopia had, and a lot of teams are doing from DiNG. Looks to me like they're probably going to set up in K6-7 with a TVP. They got the AMX 3090 for the middle spot, and the Object 140 is going to go up towards the north, try and start a little cap. Don't have to worry about the artillery because Utopia doesn't have one. And yeah, I mean, that to me looks like what we're going to be seeing for the next couple of minutes.
They can make their way forward. And Utopia boosting that tank up, they deny capture point 2 pretty much utterly. I mean, you can kill tanks up in that spot. It's just hard to do, and by the time you get close enough, he's already spotted your whole team and hurt them pretty badly. So, okay, we're going to go to the more standard sort of steps that we sort of used to see last season before we brought in the tier 10s here. The question, though, definitely has to be begged. I mean, Utopia bring in the STBs here as well, which have, I mean, better gun depressions than some of their medium tank counterparts as well. They can sort of get their heads up there and have a look and see what's going on. Rulzik blind shotting again, fair enough. Can Utopia reliably spot capping tanks from their position, though, or do they need to send out?
No, they need someone to go forwards. I'm a little bit surprised that, considering this is Utopia, who always put Papa Pavian in B6, they didn't just put like an AMX 3090 there, or maybe send it to A5. But a lot of teams kind of clued on to the cheeky spots, the cheeky passive spots that Utopia was using. So, yeah, I mean, Object 140 is going to go into A3. That's going to try and shoot the side of Utopia. Utopia, of course, forced to go forwards. Rulzik does receive one on the side. But now, I mean, the cap will start at some point. Mercado, he's not that close to the cap, to be honest. And maybe, I mean, judging by the double Object 140 and Mercado there with the AMX 3090, perhaps DiNG wants to go for an A-line push.
That would be very interesting, actually, if they can get all their tanks up there. Well, you're right. I mean, Ollie, I guess it's a fair point. If you see that no one's actually even going towards the cap, it's just blind fire, blind fire, blind fire. Only one shot blind has actually landed. That's towards Map Money. I mean, there's a lot of map to shoot, so fair enough. But Shokish will move up and maybe even get in a position where he can potentially spot these tanks. You got to be careful, though. Papa has a decent spot to fire at him, and Forbidden actually got lit up there, or no, blind fire again.
No, Shokish was.
Was? Okay. He's blinked out pretty quickly there. So Shokish managed to see him, but yeah, he has to be careful as well because he is vulnerable to Papa Pavian up on the hill if he gets too much closer.
Yeah, the problem with that side of the train line is it's not really that much cover at all. You know, Object 140 is a very compact tank, as most of the Russian mediums are, Russian tanks in general are, and still a couple of shots went onto Shokish. So, yeah, I mean, again, I think Merkar should just put himself in the cap and put a little bit of pressure on Utopia, see what they do. They're set up for that tactic, so I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, why they're wasting time like this. I mean, yeah, okay, they've actually made some damage stick to Forbidden and McMoney at the beginning of the game at least, but still, like, they're not in a position to really out-damage Utopia's lineup.
What is the plan here for DiNG is probably what a lot of you at home are wondering along with us. Is you can see the DiNG have still spread the TVB towards the south, super normal, of course, to make sure there's no flank through the middle. And I've got a bat chat there as well. So there's actually a fair amount of commission, I guess, towards the bottom side. Don't know if they're going to shift anytime soon or maybe make any sort of crazy moves here. But Utopia, despite Forbidden being lit briefly by Shokish there as well, they're in no hurry. They really are not. But, I mean, we said the same thing about them on Moravanka, Ollie. They're in no hurry. They just sit there and spot. And, well, that didn't go so well for them. So, I mean, game state, it's World of Tanks. So, guys, the game state can change at literally a second's notice. And Ricard now going to move on towards the cap. Interesting to see him. He's side on, so I guess he can back out in that direction. It's fair enough. Obviously, a little bit of a higher chance of him being blind shot. That was a little bit close for comfort, that one. So he'll start it off here, and this is where Utopia now just got to be clever, just got to be efficient as well with getting these spots onto Makar. That's the second blind shot that's been really close to his position. So Utopia getting close, warm, not on target just yet. And really, I guess, what then, Oliver? What if they hit Makar? I mean, what does DiNG do? They're not really set up for anything else at the moment.
Well, they could obviously go for some sort of damage, but I mean, there's no reason why Merkar wouldn't just keep on sitting here. I mean, even if he gets shot, he's still got another few chances until he has to actually really until DiNG really have to consider another move. He's got 1,100 HP. That's 3 shots by a 390 damage gun. So nothing connecting so far. That was very close from Pavian, who's shooting from the hill, I believe. And I always wondered, like, do the teams actually have a plan to where they shoot? I mean, most of the time, the person that is capping is not moving. So if you shoot from left to right, I mean, surely you're going to hit them at some point. Yeah. But it seems to me like they just shoot here, there, everywhere, and just hope they get lucky.
Maybe you have to coordinate that
I think you should have like 3 tanks shooting, like in a plan, and then one of them shoots randomly.
Well, MacMoney gives himself up here to get the spot. What? Bounce a shot off the back of the 1390. You don't see that every day. So, I mean,
hashtag heat ammo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the normalization of those shells. I mean, isn't the point with heat that you want it, like if you're firing it, that you want it to sort of hit the tank in a way that it detonates instead of punching straight through? So there's like a normalization, like the head of it.
There's no normalization with heat. That's the thing. That's the reason why you see players loading APCR when they're shooting French tanks because they know that
it was
with
10 degrees.
With it's 2 degrees, but there's no normalization with heat anymore. So
Okay.
if you shoot a lightly armored target with high angles on this armor, the armor's not normalized, so you got more chance of bouncing. So that's why, for instance, we've seen lots of bounces on bat shots.
Right. Because they used to, obviously, the shells were made to normalize themselves when they hit, weren't they? They were slanted at the top or angled right at the tip.
Yeah. But that doesn't, I mean, that's why you generally want to be using, I mean, heat is amazing against high armor targets, but everything else, like, it can be so random.
Gotcha. There you go. Tank tactics with Ollie there as well. So, yep. Ricard does get hit on that cap, and time's running a little bit low for DiNG here, almost so that Utopia can try and just... Well, I mean, they haven't taken enough damage to be wanting to scurry away and just like hide in the corner. Ricard has one more chance to get a cap on his own. I think my maths is right there, depending on how much this ticks down, of course, but I'd say it's about one more chance.
Yeah,
so
I'd say about one more.
He's just hoping for the best here as well. And that kind of sucks that DiNG have to hope for the best in this case. I mean, Utopia may be even happy enough with like 2 minutes or 1 minute 30. Might be just... Oh, what? They might be happy enough just giving up one tank to spot again. But they don't have a 1390 anymore, so there's risk there. There's International moving on. That makes a lot more sense. So now, even if resets do come in International's direction, they can restart it again. 18 seconds, 17 now as well. That is ticking down. This is good. Perfect from DiNG. That's all they had to do. Now they put pressure on Utopia. Oh, but look at that. Papa gets the shot towards International. Yeah, it didn't do a lot of damage, but it still bought them some time. There needs to be more. That was a bounce, not going to count. And yet you can see Utopia now starting to move forward, Ollie. I guess they got to go for it here, but I mean, they're a little bit outmatched here. They're down a tank and they're not looking as healthy, but a bit of free damage would be a good start. But look at Wicked, gets pounded. There's a bat chat in the south. Great positioning to be on that one for Hulknik. Makes it hard for Utopia to push across safely.
Yeah, I think for Utopia, it's unrealistic that they're going to win any kind of brawl situation. What Utopia needs to do is play for time, right? And DiNG just need to push in. 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. The bat chat's trying to keep Utopia stuck in towards that right side. And I think Hulknik's got the reload, so it hasn't got the reload yet. So this is going to be such a close round in terms of the time.
Can they push on to Papa, though? Can they actually kill him?
No, they can't kill him if he really wants to safe.
So he just needs to get resets. But
I think they can kill him. Yeah, they can kill him, but it just takes a while because he is in that top right corner.
Right, that's super interesting.
Multiple angles.
We're down under a minute here as well. These guys giving us a slow game as usual, but there's the reset coming in. Still going to give about 40 seconds. DiNG, I don't know if they have the resources to pull another tank out of the fight and put him onto the cap, but they're still trading into these ones fairly well. Yet another reset, one after another. Bishu goes down. It's just Papa and Mooka left, and Mooka knows how important his role is right now. Papa's going to stay safe. One more reset means they need 3 tanks to do it. Brilliant stuff here. It might go very, very close as Mooka goes down. 2 tanks on. Oh, I think they've got it here, Ollie. Yeah. I don't really know if Papa can actually get the reset. It's going to be another clutch shot from MV Papa. Let's see if he can do it. He's going to try and stay safe. He knows that he needs to be a little bit risky if he wants to poke out and get shots here. Needs a good reset. Got shot there as well. His viewfinder went down. I guess he's not going to use it. They're all blind shots! Papa parrying, you freak of nature! He gets the blind shot. He gets the victory for Utopia. I don't know how he did it. 4 seconds left. This guy is literally doing my head in.
What a beast. I'm done. I'm done with the season. I'm going home. Let's all go home. Let's all go.
What was that?
I don't know. I'm not sure if he was spotted or not because he shot, right? Hulknik shot that shell. Let's see what the chat is like. Zack. Not luck. Shockish. Yeah, it's Papa, boys. The thing is, I'm not sure. Like, we've seen this from DiNG right before, right? They sat in one position. Was it DiNG on Ghost Town who got shot by the artillery piece, the M40? Who was it?
It was Papa. It was Papa. What do you mean on Ghost Town?
Yeah, I remember that clutch shot. Was that Papa?
But Papa.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was against, but that was the same situation. He got that Kappa down. I think that was actually against Synergy as well. He got that Kappa down. And the thing is, Hulknik was sitting in that same position in the TVP, in the right side corner, the whole time. And Papa just shot again. I mean, are these teams just falling for Papa's mind games? I don't get it. And he's the beast of resetting and Ghost Town in Season 1 as well. What a beast.
What is... Papa Pavian, 3.6k damage. I have to readjust my mic now. Sorry, guys. That was intense. This is honestly one of the best series of this season. Absolutely insane. What was that again, production? Yeah, so 50 shots from Papa. So he's definitely taking a lot of shots during that round. But I don't know, Ollie, really. I just, I mean, 3,500 odd damage. I mean, we're even typing in the chat.
Also, it was his last shell. It was his last shell. He has a fade-ins medal. It was his last shell.
What?
So 50 shells. That's all you have with an STB1.
So he got the reset to win the game with the last shell. With a freaking blind fire. No, you know what? Yeah.
Fade-ins medal, boys. Fade-ins medal.
What?
Insane.
That is just incredible.
We're like, maybe he has 1 or 2 shells. The thing is, I was wondering when I was sitting there, I was like, he's got two reloads here. He's got a 6-second reload, basically. He's got 2 reloads. Why isn't he making more than 1 attempt at resetting? I was like, I didn't understand it until I didn't know how many shells he shot. And it was obvious, like, he was waiting till he had the perfect shell and actually trying to make it, like,
I'm shaking.
the last seconds.
Oh, my hand's shaking right now watching that.
That was a 10-minute game and it was won in the last second. Like, talk about putting it all on the line at the end. Insane stuff.
That's incredible. I mean, now obviously match point comes up for Utopia if you didn't quite get that. Ghost Town as well, coming in for them. So
Fade-ins medal, boys.
That's just incredible.
Probably hasn't got on his real on his actual account.
I know, right? He's playing on a tournament account, which is really unfortunate. Actually, Forbidden is playing on his personal account, I noticed, actually, so which is fine. Whatever. Crazy stuff. So teams are getting themselves ready for this one. Of course, it's going to be potentially the last map here. If it's not the last map, it's going to be a tiebreaker. Both maps, steps coming up, and I'm pretty sure this is Utopia's pick as well, Ghost Town. They are pretty good on it. I think the only team that's actually impressed me more is probably Oops on this map.
Yeah, I think Oops has probably been the best team on this map.
But we've seen,
maybe
obviously,
Oops and KB. KB's been very exceptional on Ghost Town since the beginning. Yeah, I mean, we saw KB winning against who was it last? I got bad memory now. This is the end of the season blues. KB won on Tuesday against in Insane against Synergy. Yeah, of course, against Synergy, easily on Ghost Town. Absolutely wrecked them in the first 2 rounds. And Synergy being okay, like we've seen some interesting rounds from Synergy, some good aggression, but they got absolutely stomped. So, yeah, I mean, match point 4-2 right now in favor of Utopia. We had 2 rounds on Mines going towards Utopia, 2 rounds on Moravanka going towards DiNG. Yep. Now 2 rounds on Steps going towards Utopia. I mean, Utopia being an absolute beast right now.
You can't make this up. You couldn't write a script. No. You couldn't even design like a rig again to work like this. It's absolutely mind-boggling there as well. I mean, I'll lose my voice and lose my headset all at the same time. So, I mean, that was pretty crazy. I mean, all right, so let's... Ghost Town, yeah, I mean...
There's very few times we're speechless, but that was one of them.
I'm literally almost never speechless. That's the problem. Unless I'm coughing or something like that, or sleeping. And even then, I'm probably talking anyway.
Talking asleep, yeah.
So, I mean, let's go into this one, guys. This could be the final map of the season. And what a way to go on it. It blows my mind that a team with a player like Papa Pavian is still fighting to avoid relegation. Literally... does my head in. I hope we see them next season. I hope they don't have to bother with relegations because I don't think they deserve to be there. No. But it's not up to me. Ultimately, it's up to the gods of World of Tanks and maybe RNGs is getting involved a little bit. Both teams bringing a Waffle Trigger E100. DiNG are bringing artillery here as well. So Diplomat now going to step up a little bit if he can.
Utopia, I reckon, the awkward thing is they're on 15 points, right? So Penta and Utopia and Synergy are all on the same points. So 3 teams on the same points. So, I mean, they only have to win the tiebreaker in terms of, they only have to win the tiebreaker. If they lose a tiebreaker, they've got 1 point. So there's 3 teams. So you have to check exactly who won against who. And, I mean, Penta won 5-4 against Utopia. So that's going to make it really awkward. That's going to be a 3-way tie between... I mean, Utopia beats DiNG, Synergy, but Penta beats Utopia. That's a bit awkward.
Brilliant. Well, we'll deal with that when we get to it. Now, so Meritorious, he's got the duty on the corner here as well. He would love to be doing some spotting for Diplomat and see if Diplomat can get some shots off the back of that. It's a DiNG, very much a spread formation for DiNG right now as a capture has begun. It's an object 416 actually. Papa, put him on a tier whatever. He's on the cap anyway, in the 416, and he's just chilling back behind obviously the oil rig thing that's in front there. So he's got a pretty low profile tank, pretty skinny, so he can just start that cap off now while Utopia try and make some moves around it. Wicked does cop 1 shot. That's not bad, to be fair, as Utopia want to try and gain position. Rakar and International are lit. They're going to go from 2 prongs, I think, here as well, and DiNG might want to actually come together and group up a bit here.
Yeah, they are starting to get themselves sorted for some sort of push. I mean, they're going to be playing against that Lorraine like the whole time. They want to try and funnel Utopia into a position where they can just shoot. But look at these exchanges. Bishu and Wicked, just nice stuff against the side of the Z100 turrets, really doing the damage.
Absolutely, and it's good trade. Very, very good, and they keep coming as well. Diable takes a little bit of damage, and Mooka now, the cap, what? DiNG, not even close enough. Mooka's moved on there. Surely not. There's no reset. Utopia have done it. I can't believe it. I'd never thought that they'd pull it off in this way. DiNG have 7 takes on the field, and they just got the rug pulled out from under them. DiNG, oh my lord, it's Utopia. They move out of that one with a 5-2 victory.
5-2 as well.
I said like, they don't deserve to be relegated or even have to face the prospect. What an incredible comeback, Oliver. Literally, they've played some of the best takes I've seen all season. I knew this game was going to deliver, but I had no idea it would be like this.
Oh man, Utopia are just so good at this point in time. I just don't know what's going on with this team. Like, they had such a bad start to their season, but they definitely deserve to be in 7th place right now because they're absolute beasts from the East. And what can I say? I mean, that last round, I felt like DiNG and Spirit had been trampled down because they weren't going forwards. They got completely caught out. They didn't know what they were doing. And Utopia got it done in the end. And yeah, that puts them out of the relegation zone. Very much deserved, I have to say. And I mean, if we look through their matches, it was really the beginning of the season where they weren't doing particularly well. I mean, they lost to Kazna Crew, they lost to Wombats on Tanks, they won against Rusty Ron, they lost against KB, they won against OR, they lost against Tornado Rocks. You know, they were winning and losing. They had tiebreakers back to back. But it's just, you know, a fantastic team at the end of the season. They can hold their heads up high. They've beaten DiNG, and remember at the beginning of today, we were like, yeah, DiNG should be able to beat Utopia. They have a potential going to second behind Tornado Rocks. One Tanks might not have a chance to lose against Kazna Crew. Didn't turn out that way.
No, it's funny how things end up at the end of the day. I just, Melly, over to you, of course, as we don't really have much to say. The Twitch chat's exploding, I'm sure.
Absolutely. We're just in the second last round, so... My favorite quote was, "Mom, get the camera!" It's so amazing. You guys broke Twitch chat, Utopia. You've done it. I can't wait for them seeing the last round. What a game! What an end of a season!
Well, we just need to watch Utopia the whole time. I don't want to watch any other teams.
I'm just my eyes are glued to a screen because I'm watching the stream. So. It's crazy.
It's bugging me dead. He scored the reset on a blind shot with his last bullet.
Don't need artillery. Just get peppered to get the resets. Easy.
Oh,
they're getting behind in 50 shots. Was it literally his last shell?
Yeah, it was.
Like, yes. It gets better. It does. Wait for next round.
It's just incredible. Seriously. So, I mean, I know everyone's enjoying the stuff, of course, that we've seen so far. I don't think I've ever been more sad to have to close the show here, but we do have some things to get through before that, guys. So let's have a recap of the scores for you, and you can get an idea of what happened outside this absolutely mind-blowing game. And I don't use that word lightly. Kicked it off, Wombats on Tanks. It went to a tiebreaker with Kazna Crew, Ollie.
Yeah, that was one hell of a game. I mean, we've had one hell of a night, but that one was a true cracker. Wombats on Tanks at the end. Just managed to put it away. I mean, that last round on Prokhorovka was a bit of a mind scratcher, a bit of a mind blower as well, since Kazna Crew was so far ahead at the beginning and managed to give it away. But no matter, none of the two teams really gained or lose anything. Okay, Wombats secure themselves both to the season finals and the grand finals. Tornado Rocks Strong Skim is always going to go towards Tornado Rocks. DiNG, Utopia doesn't represent, the scoreline doesn't represent what a high quality game we just had, especially from the Utopia boys.
No, not at all. But 2-5 is a pretty convincing result. So Utopia should hold their heads high. Absolutely. And, I mean, they come out with a pretty nice round difference, actually, considering where they are on the ladder. So just heartfelt congratulations to them as well. I cannot wait to see them next season. It's going to be just incredible. And here is our final table. The final table. Ladder Mayhem is done. This is where we're at. Tornado Rocks and Wombats and Tanks, they automatically qualify to our season finals. What we don't know yet is who is going to be joining them. It could be DiNG, could be Oops, Connect Abroad, and Kazna Crew after a disappointing game tonight, still hanging the balance by 1 point. Can you imagine if Utopia... No, I'm not even going to go there. That's fine. So this is what we have, guys. We still need to find out what of those 3rd through 6th place teams are actually going through. And it's a great segue, of course, in towards our weekend. It is going to be our WGLEU Season 2 pre-playoffs weekend. We're going to bring the graphic up for you guys. And Oliver, break it down how it's going to work.
So it's 3 versus 6. So it's DiNG versus Kazacrew, and I hope DiNG has done a little bit. Well, will do a little bit of homework over the next 48 hours or so, because they just got absolutely wrecked by Utopia. Maybe they just didn't want to give anything away against Utopia, knowing that they've already secured their place, and considering what Wombats just did. Insane game that one's going to be. And then we got the new teams, Oops versus KB. I mean, everyone in the World Tanks esports scene have been like, wow, these two teams have really shown up. They're the Russian team, we've seen basically the old dogs still at the top of the league, but Oops and KB are new, and they're doing very well. That's going to be one hell of a game. And regardless of which team makes it to the finals, any of those 4, and we'll get 2 of them, will be fantastic to see, and we're really going to be super excited to see them in Cologne on the 20th of February.
I couldn't be happier. And you know what? No matter what, one of these teams are going to be a team that we've never seen at a season finals before. That is also exciting. So, and that should wrap things up here, of course, for our final match day of the normal season. Guys, remember, Saturday, 2 p.m. is when we're kicking off. And we're kicking off at Sunday at 2 p.m. as well, CET, all right? Be here. We're going to be here. We've got some amazing games coming up. It's not even an understatement, guys. We're going to see some fantastic stuff. These teams fighting for their shot at the finals. And Kazacrew fighting for their chance to even be at the grand finals. It's a long shot for them, but these guys are land dragons. If they get through the pre-playoffs unscathed, anything is possible. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys with us as well. And a big thank you as well to everyone who's been involved throughout the normal season as well. We're not going yet. We'll be back on the weekend, but shout out to our Twitch mods as well.
Yep.
You guys are fantastic. Tatus and Co. keeping it all above board. Massive shout out to our admins as well, Coco Starkel, Imbirum and the others, and also to our observers. Fomayer's in there, Magus, Henning the producer as well. Thank you guys. Wouldn't be able to do it without you. But we'll be back, of course, on the weekend for the pre-playoffs, guys. What an amazing season 2 for 2015 and 2016. And the lead up to the finals is only going to be better. Thank you. Good night. And we'll see you on Saturday.